Us were there. Some of us were there. Nabo, AKA, were there marching with the students. People thought, oh no, AKA is doing it for publicity. No, he was doing that to protect the students.
Yeah, we're there on Fees Must Fall. We're there.
Why? Because no students were shot where there were celebrities.
This is the Hustler's Corner.
First thing I'd like to say is that it's the second Monday in a row. Nota is here. For those that are looking for virtual Mkuku episode with Peniel, go next door. Click on that link in the description. Virtual Mkuku.
It's in the comments.
The comment section.
The episode is in the comments, but the link for the subscription to Virtual Mkuku is in the
It's on the other side, sure. Yeah. Last week you guys were mad at me. I disturbed Nota quite a lot, which is so unlike me. I always give my guests a chance to speak. I guess I got very passionate, but it was an interesting discussion. But I want to thank you for coming through.
The American attitude. Americans love speaking. Americans love speaking. Americans, they love speaking. That's how they sell themselves. And you know what people don't understand is that speaking is an intelligence. It's how I can transfer knowledge from myself to you. You understand? Because you can't hear what I'm thinking. But now because we've got the technology of language, I can transfer that intelligence to you. And South Africans are very intelligent because, we speak multiple languages. So we've got multiple intelligences. Think about all these computer scientists. The highest paid computer scientists, they know different languages. They know Python. Okay, that's based on C++, so they obviously know that because that's foundational. They know Java. They know all these things. They know HTML and all these things. Tina, we know what? We know Tsotsitaal, we know Pedi, we know Tswana, we know Sotho.
That's why I always say South African rappers are more in an advantageous position. Because they can rap and rhyme in all these different languages.
They're more intelligent. And also, like in America, they are fed only American propaganda. They're not exposed to the world. So the most important thing is being able to translate that though and sell it. I was watching Podcast and Chill with MacG as well on Monday because now I watched the episode. I watched Virtual Mkuku, and then there was like a lineup. It was like
and then you check the Peniel show.
I show Nkululeko with Gigi Lavid. You understand? Like it was, a whole lot of. It was a buffet of content.
And once again, guys, the more of us there is on the internet, the better. There's no competition. We're all winning.
You understand? Yeah, exactly. Like it was like an endless. I was stuck, but I was fed, and I realized that, because of a guy's language barrier, sometimes you don't understand what people are saying. When you guys are traveling, one thing that I've always watched the videos, and because we never had the advantage of going back in time and being there, when we watched the Miriam Makebas, the Brahima Sigelas, the Fela Kutis, all of them when they perform in Europe or wherever, you know what I mean? Before they perform a song, they tell the people where the song is from, the story of the song, the makings of the song. When they're done performing the song, they tell the people what the song means, to give meaning to the people, so that people memorize it, because that's what actually memory is about. It's about assigning meaning to things. You don't memorize something unless you assign meaning to it. We assign meaning to certain dates. When your birthday is because it's got a meaning. So assigning meaning to the music also means that you need to explain it outside of the language for those other audiences. And we've got a language barrier between the Tswana, Pedi, Sotho, and the Nguni languages. And people don't understand the particular things that are being documented in Vocalistics Ghetto Gospel. Like if you listen to that album, you know what I mean? Because like we grew up listening to Abu Brown Dash, and like we understand what Brown Dash meant when he said, Ngezelu mntanam. You know what I mean? Because we see a whole lot of snot-nosed kids in the hood You know, and when you're looking at these snot-nosed kids in the hood, you're looking at, okay, fine, who's looking after them? Who's taking care of them? Where's their mom? You understand what I'm saying? And that's why he's singing about that, because a lot of people relate to that. When Focalistic is doing it in another language that less people can relate to as well, we need to now have the people that understand the language, the people in the media. They need to be the ones that step in and translate these things, because we're not reading about that in the newspapers or in any of the op-eds when they cover him.
I guess that's why a lot of our audiences, especially the international ones, are always on our case about subtitles. Would you guys put in subtitles on your podcast so you can reach a bigger audience? Because you South Africans are so rich with the vernacular languages. From time to time, you jump into your vernac and we don't understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, no, I'm listening. Like,
I'm just saying it's the same thing, where you're giving yourself a chance to reach out to a bigger audience by having subtitles. It's the same thing as an artist performing to a live audience in a different country. You are increasing your reach by explaining your songs and giving your songs meaning. Because even if it was just an audience that would have just been there to just jam, now you've attached a meaning to a certain song where now it gets engraved in their subconscious mind, where this is what this song means. So that the next time they get to put it on their playlist, they understand it better and they're able to pass on that information to somebody else.
And champion you. Because now they're speaking to their Russian friend who doesn't understand this, and guess what? They've got that inside knowledge. Guess what, Sbuda?
Yeah.
I know the meaning of the song. You won't believe. And guess what? Now that you're hearing it from a friend that is trusted, that is your champion. And that is also why you need to use your local champions. I was also advising focus teams, like, you know, get into the diaspora media first. I understand the temptation is I'm in the UK, I want to be on BBC, I want to be on, you know what I mean? That's the temptation. And we're not saying don't do that. No, by all means, do that. You know, embrace that if they invite you. But the diaspora media, those are your champions. Those are the people that are going to rally for you. Those are the people that are going to vote for you at the Grammys. That are going to make sure that you win at the Grammys. Because at the Grammys, it's about who votes for you. You understand what I'm saying? It's about who you are nice to. It's about whose toes you stepped on and you didn't say sorry.
Are you serious?
It's about that.
Is this each and every category?
I mean, did Beyonce win Album of the Year? She wasn't ungrateful that she didn't win, but she knew that the attitude from the voters was that she's won everything.
I get you.
I mean, we've already given her the most awards on the night. If we give her Album of the Year, I mean, you know, that was the attitude. And the anonymous voters said that, you know, those were their comments and their sentiments, that she's won a lot. So we know that it factors in. You know, these awards are judged by human beings. They're judged by people. And speaking of awards, you know, I'm glad that the Metro FM Awards are back.
Oh, they're back?
Yeah.
Before we go to Metro FM Awards, congratulations to my brother, Zakes Bantwini. Congratulations to Nomcebo, Zikode, and voter Karama.
Nomcebo, yes.
And shout outs to Trevor.
Grammy Award-winning Nomcebo.
Grammy Award-winning Nomcebo.
Yeah.
Grammy Award-winning Zakes Bantwini.
Yeah.
Grammy Award-winning voter Karama.
Yeah.
And
Grammy Award-winning.
And multiple Grammy Award host Trevor Noah. How beautiful is that? South Africa.
He's a Grammy nominated.
He's also Grammy nominated.
Yes,
he's a Grammy
nominated for his spoken word album.
But he's also hosted twice, right?
Yes, he's 3 times. This is the
three
third
times
time.
now.
This is the third time.
Oh, wow, that's dope, bro.
Yeah. No.
South Africa, my man, we're not playing. We're not playing.
No.
And I like it because what it's doing to our kids are actually starting to see, no, man, we're actually capable of a whole lot more. Instead of me just dreaming around here, I can actually be global. I can do my thing at my best globally. You know what I mean?
Did you see Trevor rapping to Busta Rhymes?
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Out rapping, like, you know, Flip.
Yeah.
You know, and I was thinking to myself, you know, with the light skin privilege, it's just that Drake was closer. He was in Canada. I'm telling you, Trevor could have been a bigger rapper if he was a rapper. If he wasn't a comedian. Think about it. Think about it. You know what I mean? Think about it. Born a crime. You understand?
And he would have told this story through rhymes, my man.
You understand what I'm saying?
And he's so good in all these things, even in impersonations. One of the attributes that also made Eminem a good rapper. He's good in impersonations.
You understand?
And he would do it in his rhymes.
You understand?
You know what I mean?
So yeah. So
we're talking about Metro Awards now.
Metro FM Awards are coming back, and you know, Why
are you looking at them over again? Your eyes go straight. You speak about blood shot.
Inaba, we all have pain.
You look at that Kolkoti.
I'm just thinking.
For some of those who don't understand, it's actually an inside joke. Those who know.
Yeah.
Write in the comments.
Hey, my lord.
How long was the break? I think, was it since
It was much
lockdown?
needed. It was much needed. All I'm saying is that I already wrote an open letter.
Did you?
I was ready to go for them. I'd already written an open letter to 5FM and that worked because, we got more local content on radio. We got people liking local content a lot more. We got people demanding more local content. Now we've got more local content. Now you look at the Apple Music charts.
But you guys still shot down Nhlamulo when he was fighting for all of your...
Not us. We didn't. We celebrated him. We bought bottles of champagne when they gave us 90%. We bought because we knew that our Samro check is going to come in and...
Hey, my man.
Understand?
That man was changing the game. And
we supported him.
A lot of people are not aware.
We supported him.
Imagine how far we would be now, bro.
Our generation is the same McG generation that gave Saudi a platform to speak for himself. To actually speak about, the influence that he's had. And he's had a phenomenal influence,
He has.
He's had a phenomenal
And he
influence.
was unafraid. Sometimes you do need leaders that are not afraid, bro.
He took the genie out the bottle. And that's the thing, you can't put it back in. It's the Pandora's box effect. You went tick on the stage and Pandora's box effect, you know what I mean? Whatever the cost may be, So the Metro FM Awards they also opened up the can of worms when they opened up the prize money and opened up the awards to people buying votes and stuff like that. They opened it up. And
so people were buying votes?
It was like people can pay for a lot of SMSs.
Oh,
people can pay for a lot of bulk SMSs.
I get you.
And you're incentivizing that by giving them a big prize money.
I get you.
You understand? You're incentivizing bad acting. If there's any bad acting. And you shouldn't be doing that as an award show because then you're going to compromise the awards either way. So they've done away with that. Now the judges are deciding.
So it's the judges that decide.
The judges are deciding.
So it's like the court system of
2 or
America
3.
now, the jury system.
It's like the Grammys. People are going to be mad.
Okay.
You understand? So
Okay.
you can't be stepping on people's toes, You can't be saying, hey, Metro, ini. You understand? You can't be Ricking. You understand? Rick sacrificed himself now as well.
You can't be DJ booing.
He sacrificed himself. You understand what I'm saying? So, these sacrifices that have been made for this future generation to benefit from, are now showing fruit. And we've got the Metro FM Awards back, at least.
Who are the sponsors this year?
I don't know.
Are they on now, this February, or when?
All I know is that the submission ends at the end of February.
Do they have an Amapiano category?
I think everything's on the website.
Oh, okay.
Everything's on the website, on the Metro FM website. The Amapiano Awards nominations are being announced while we're recording this. So you guys can also check out their website, the South African Amapiano Awards. And someone was saying, why do they not call the South African Amapiano Awards the Amapiano Awards? And I said, no, because people must know that Amapiano is from South Africa. We don't want an international Amapiano Awards. We don't want it. We don't need that. It's unnecessary. So South African Amapiano Awards are also coming. That's the second edition of them.
That would be dope. I'm sure they're gonna grow.
So I was also making an observation. I was speaking to someone that does content for a lot of artists, and I was saying, what people didn't learn from House. I saw videos of Notende trending. And she, at some point she had complained about how she did a song with a house DJ and it didn't materialize into what she had expected from a financial perspective.
Also, the entry submissions are open, so they're opening the submissions.
Yeah,
this is the Metro.
Yeah.
Okay.
So click to enter and see the rules, everything, because it shows you the rules immediately.
Oh, immediately there's general.
And can you see how?
So introduction, the rules, sorry, quickly before you continue. The key events in the awards process. Number 2, date of the award ceremony, entry mechanics. Okay, the general rules, eligibility for entry. Number 2, broadcast and exploitation rights. And number 3, prizes. So it's got prizes, okay. And then number 4, general. And then there's categories there. Rules and regulations, Metro FM Special Awards, there's Lifetime Achiever, there's One Africa, there's the most streamed artist. Very interesting. And then there's then the rest of the list, the key events at the awards process leading up to the actual thing and how they vet the awards. The entries received will be screened for compliance with the relevant rules, etc. Metro FM reserves the right to recommend an appropriate category placement during the vetting process in consultation with the entering record company or artist. Entries that do not comply with the rules are disqualified. And then they've got things like all category submissions are eligible for public voting. So it's still here, public voting, except for Lifetime Achievement Award and the most streamed song. Yeah, it's still open for voting.
What?
Here, all category.
All categories are eligible. All category submissions are eligible for public voting except life. Oh.
So public voting is still open.
I thought those were the...
So these are the rules, yeah. So people can still vote, but they're saying except for those 3 categories.
Okay. So it's public voting, but the judges are the ones who are reviewing the nominees. I'm not sure about the public voting system. Because when you've got public voting for too many categories, you just incentivize bad acting. You incentivize the artist who's got a dad that, works at Vodacom to get all the stuff at Vodacom to SMS during lunch break.
To get the whole stuff at Vodacom.
Yes, he just announces at the cafeteria while they're all eating, says, hey, votan, votelanum danam. I'm serious. Serious. Me, I would do that. In my company, you vote for my child. Otherwise, You
are fired.
If you don't vote for my child, how's the company going to make money? Think about it. You understand what I'm saying?
Your child is not talented.
But at least they make money.
And you see, these are the categories. Is there Amapiano? Oh, nice. Number 1
the
is
first
Amapiano.
one.
Best Amapiano.
Maybe that's alphabetic. Okay, but the best new age R&B. So for Abo Elaine, best hip hop. Best.
So they've combined Kwaito and Kom.
No, it's.
Do you think it's a good
Kwaito.
idea? They've combined Kwaito and Kom, but Amapiano is separate. What do you think?
That's a terrible idea. That is a terrible idea.
And then house is separate, jazz is separate, gospel is separate, Afropop is separate. Why would you combine Kwaito and Kom?
No, they need to separate those.
If Amapiano is separate.
They need to separate those two. They need to separate because there's even different. Kom is got 3 bases. It's got the Cape Town base, it's got the Eastern Cape base,
it's got the
KZN base. They understand what I'm
and
saying?
really, Johannesburg people really didn't mess that much with Kom, but because the hits were heavy, they were all over radio.
Soweto, the thing is that Soweto, we've been on deep house, we've been slow tempo, you understand?
There was a time, you remember when Kom was big, there was a time when you would play Kom and Soweto, people leave.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I was like, but why not? Why are you guys leaving?
Because of the speed of our dances in Soweto. Ikaslam is like that. We don't want to do these dance moves from other hoods. Unfortunately.
Best new artist, best female artist, best male.
Tembisa Nani, at least you guys, you gave us the 45 RPM. Relax.
Yeah, my 45. Yo, you remember my 45 that can do it.
So, think about that. That birth, the Kwaito, that birth, everything that we have today, either way.
There is another interesting... Ninkani. It was Ninkani.
Yeah, exactly. Not Ninkani.
Nota, here's another interesting...
Even the Chrome guys, but Ninkani.
Everyone the Kom guys are worse.
Everyone Everyone. So this Kwaito and...
But we're all musicians, but you can't
I don't think Mapaput is going to be too happy about joining.
I'm also not happy.
Uspiki is not going to be happy.
Because it's not the same thing.
No, but...
If we're saying Amapiano is separate...
You understand? Abo Kabza, they released a Kwaito album. Especially to submit within the Kwaito category. Now
Now Kwaito is with Kom. It's like
Big Nas.
I'm sure Ingamla
released.
But anyway,
Ingamla, Metro.
No, but there has to have been someone who doesn't understand our culture. You can't mix Kom and Kwaito, same category.
But okay, you guys understand your culture. This is dropping on Monday. They can still do something.
Okay.
I don't know.
There's a category, best viral challenge. Interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
They're moving with the times.
I know that. Can you enter there? Mina, I need to enter. Mina, I need to. Oh, but it needs to be a challenge. It's not a challenge.
Your song needs to have been. It needs to have started some sort of a viral challenge. Yeah, like the robot boy, robot.
You know what I think is going to take that?
Yeah. Costa Tech.
Woza.
Oh, Jazzy Q.
Stimela.
Yeah.
Woza.
Yeah. You think so?
No,
I think it might be robot.
That is Stana and
Stana.
Stimela.
Yeah.
Eh? That song.
I think
that
might be robot boy.
It hit 1 million views in 11 days. It's like now, just dropped now. It's like the first video to 1 million views in 2023. You know, it's top 5 on YouTube. It's top 5 Apple Music. It's top 5 Spotify. It's everywhere, and it's a kid from Lesotho. Imagine that's rapping
beautiful.
on
That's beautiful, bro.
Independent.
That's beautiful.
Independent.
That's beautiful.
Independent.
Bro. Yeah, that's beautiful.
You understand? He's doing it independently. 2.1. The crew of from Free State as well. The chick that's on the song. Because that's what the kids say, they call her chicks. It's called Ntabi Sings as well. And
not Ntabi Sing, Ntabi Sings.
You understand?
Nice,
and she's also from Free State.
Nice.
Yeah. So the young ones are creative. So Ntate Stana, he said he's gonna put Sesotho fashioning. I think he's putting this song. I'm telling you, this song is going to be the next Jerusalem content.
Are you serious?
Ishota international remix. That's it.
What is it called?
Stimela.
Let's go. Not Stimela, Sarah Big Sky, Stimela.
I already commented on the video. When the video dropped, I said, guys, well done. This is Song of the Year.
You 1.1 million views already.
Yeah.
This is dope. Congratulations, guys. Well done.
You understand? So
and at least a breath of fresh air.
You understand?
Outside
exactly.
of Joburg.
So that one I think is going to be because I haven't seen a new viral challenge in a while. Like the songs have been going big, but they haven't had a challenge, associated with it. I mean, Bastrata is a big song, but it doesn't have a challenge associated with it. You know what I mean? There's this other challenge, the Yama Timon. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen Yama Timon.
Okay, right, not good.
I also think this song is big, but it does Maestro Folka. Itobetsa. I think it's a big song. It doesn't have a challenge, does it?
The challenge is Zotata.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and that guy even tattooed Zotata on himself.
Yeah, okay. The real tattoo, permanent, okay.
It's a hit.
It's a hit, man. A tattoo is permanent, though.
If the hit is permanent, he might want to keep that. So, I'm excited to see that the Metro FM Awards are back, but I'm just concerned about the voting thing. So I hope that with whatever the measures they're doing, they're making sure that, people can't jig the system.
People always, whenever it's jiggable, they will. Whenever it's jiggable, they will.
And you're incentivizing it, because there's a lot on the line. When you win awards, that's when the brands know you, and that's when they give you big checks.
Yeah, and that's when you can also up your booking fee.
It's not just your booking fee. It's when you are signing a deal and someone gives you an influencer campaign and they're offering you 25,000 rands. Now you can ask for a couple million rands.
Yeah, even on everything. You're up on everything. Even on shows. That's what I mean. Booking fee. Zakes and Nomcebo are not going to be charging what they were charging last year.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Exactly.
But when it comes to the booking fees, the jump is incremental. But when it comes to the image usage rights, the brand, though, that's where you make the big bucks. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's gonna be there for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's gonna be forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the song that is forever. That is the polytones. Even if you're rich, even if you're poor, every breath you breathe, your image is going to be there for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is what is forever. So you need to make sure that you invest in getting something that is going to be forever.
And also that's your brand. You can't monetize your brand.
So
as you focus on growing the brand, you can monetize even on other things.
Awards make your thing forever because
awards
forever.
matter. Yeah,
that is forever. When people Google who won the award on such and such a thing, your song will be there forever. You understand? And that's one of the easiest ways. So they're incentivizing the bad acting by allowing public voting. So they need to make sure that they incentivize like proper clean voting. The SA Hip Hop Awards also had voting for a lot of their categories.
Okay.
And people were also unhappy with that because there's some artists that just don't want to campaign. And I don't feel artists should campaign. Sting was here in the country. It was sold out at Sun Arena. I follow him on Instagram. He didn't post it once. He didn't post it in his stories or anything of the sort. You understand what I'm saying? But it was sold out. Why? Because the promoter's job is to promote the show. The territory where he's performing. Sting is now performing in Australia now. This is part of his world's tour. The promoter there is promoting it. He's not posting it on his social media. He's not out there on his Instagram saying, hey, here's my next gig. Here's my next gig. Here's the way to catch me. Here's another security threat. You know? So we need to now start saying, okay, fine. Our promoters, we need to start holding you guys up to a higher standard. Our music is global. You know, a lot of promoters have gotten it easy. They're complaining. They're complaining that, oh, no, artists don't show up on time and everything else. But a lot of promoters, like, let's be honest, our promoters have not taken South African artists seriously with setting up shows where it's a proper experience, where you know your sound is proper, you know your tech rider is adhered to. If everybody holds themselves to the highest standards of professionalism, this is what you were saying yesterday when last time we spoke, when they were saying you're interrupting me too much, but you were saying important things. You know what I mean? These are important things. We need to hold ourselves up to that higher standard. And I think that you came from America with that excitement to say, guys, listen, I understand that we might not be making that much money, but if we just up our professionalism, guys, just a little bit more, we can kill these dudes in the States. You know what I mean? I'm sure you came back thinking like,
we've got a whole billion people.
The whole continent, bro. Yo, come on,
whole
dog.
continent,
There's no
bro.
way, dog. Like, after surviving what we've survived, yes, bang no, come on. In New York.
Is it?
Yeah, I was going to see the Statue of Liberty.
As a tourist, what happened?
I went there. There's some guys like, no. Here's the way you get the tickets. It's $30. So, one. After a while, I can see, no, man, no. I go back to those guys. Now there's tough guys. No, they're like, no, go tell the cops. I didn't tell the cops. So it's $30. I don't know how much it is in rands.
But it happens in every country. They take advantage of
but
tourists. Yeah.
I walked back to my hotel in Kala. I didn't go to the Statue of Liberty. You know why? Because I was like, dog, I'm from Jozi. The reason I was crying, I was like, there's no ways, my feet. There's no ways, dog. Bang no kile.
My shot.
Bang no kile. Mina bati yo binkala. Ngati never. Ngati yo.
Bakphapamisile, bakfikisile, right?
Yo.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, no shop.
It's the same thing when you go to Jamaica, when you go to, there'll always be those dodgy people who want to try and take advantage of you, and they can see you're a tourist.
You understand?
So when you go to foreign countries also, you must never let your guard down, because there'll always be those, and it doesn't matter whether you're from Jozi, Trevor or Nota, they're going to deal with you.
You understand?
In their own
so
way.
they told me that, okay, this is not your hometown.
Yeah.
It's not your territory. You know those streets there, but here, no, you don't know anything.
Rest in peace to the legend that spokes age. Can I ring?
Yeah, both one thing.
Yeah,
It's like Jozi.
I can just imagine
understand?
dealing with Nota in America.
Yeah, you understand? So, there's other ones there. You know, and America is big, guys. America is like Africa.
Yeah, it's very
every
big.
state is different. It's different laws. It's different customs. It's different ways to behave. It's different ways to move. So the easiest way to integrate yourself into that community is through the diaspora community, and those are your champions. Those are the people that say your name in the places that matter.
Yeah,
you know. Also, I think helping, shadowing, you know. A lot of people now that are already going, like you watching them on Instagram, figure out how to get your visas, figure out how to apply, and you know, look,
and always stay ready.
Yeah, a lot of people told me that no, I was being jealous of you encouraging people
about
to leave the country.
Oh, you're talking about last week's episode?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you know what? And I'm like, all the books that we read of all these great white people that's had the advantage of having their books marketed by big companies that have lots of money, you know, so that our stories are at the back of the shelves, so that people only read Leadership 2020 when it's 2030, you know. They speak of, oh, I went to India for a year. I went to such and such a place. And, you know, I spent a year there and all this time, or I took a gap year, I didn't study. And the things that happen when those people take those gap years are the reasons why everyone uses an iPhone today. Because Steve Jobs went to India and it changed him. You know what I mean?
I get you. Actually, you're by the way, you're so dope that when I rewatched last week's episode, that only then I was getting certain points you were saying. And that's why I also had to start today's episode by apologizing. Because sometimes when you interfere, when somebody's trying to drive to your point, you're depriving yourself an opportunity of understanding what they're trying to say. So when I rewatched the episode, I got other points later. I was like, oh, this is so dope. This is what Nota was actually trying to say.
You know what I mean?
And I didn't understand you properly at that time.
Yeah.
Context
So,
is
I mean,
everything.
yeah.
So when they get to travel to countries like India, they get to understand really the culture there, the history there, and they're able to make decisions based on they've been there, they've seen the people
They've
there.
seen something else.
I
They've
get you.
been exposed to something else and expose yourself to a lot of things. There's the countries like Thailand and everything else. You know,
Travel, Nota traveling opens you up to the whole world.
it does.
It's education on its own.
You understand?
I always say to a person, sometimes even if you feel like getting that bonus money, instead of buying a car, traveling maybe to 2 or 3 countries is much better than getting a new car. It might be. Because it's education that you'll never forget.
Not even just the cars, like the amount of money that they spend on clothes, the amount of money that they spend on alcohol, expensive liquor, the brands that they're spending on. You know, as Africans, we don't need to be spending on brands. These brands stole all our designs. Fendi is our designs. Versace is our design. Louis Vuitton is our design. All of those are our natural designs. That's what we do when we're just playing. Now we're spending lots of money to buy our playthings.
And to still promote these guys for free in our music videos.
I'm just saying our playthings.
Bruh.
Like that's what our kids draw when our kids are drawing. Those are the drawings that they
That's
make.
how
You
dope
understand?
we are,
Like,
yeah.
you understand? And then they sell those things. When I'm a European, they think that's amazing. No, dog. We are even more on Swembu than
What
that.
is loyal though, bro? Eh? How do you feel though when you see all these black people on all these music videos, Balenciaga, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, but when they speak, when they open their mouth, they're like, yeah, it's time for us, Africa, hey, the colonizer, this, 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's like, oh gosh.
Inside out. But you know what? Like, I feel like we're blessed. We're blessed because we've got the opportunity to change the narrative in real time. We've got that opportunity. We've got the challenge. You know, they were asking ChatGPT about what its goals are, and it says no, it wants to make the world perfect and, you know, with no struggle and no suffering. And I thought to myself, I would never want to live without suffering and struggle and pain and something to endure, you know, things that give you character, you know, stretch marks, saggy boobs, you know, those are the things that give you character. Like,
Germs.
you understand?
And
Like,
you can't keep us in the house with the
scars.
lockdown. We have to be out there singing all this. Stand it again.
You understand what I'm saying? So, like, you want to create an AI world where everything is perfect and sanitized, which means you're going to kill some of us.
And where everybody gets the same answer when they ask a certain question.
You understand?
There's no
You're gonna-
creativity
you're gonna
there
kill
anymore.
some of us.
You're even making people fail to think, to
You
become
understand?
free thinkers, right?
Exactly, because, I mean, why do I need to think if I can just go to Bing or Google and I can just ask ChatGPT to think for me? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Now there's even a website where you can create a website in less than 10 seconds. Check it out, guys, by the way, while you're watching this. Durable.ai.
You understand?
Durable.ai. Go check it out. You can easily, quickly make a website in 10 seconds. It's like, is this the world that's coming? And then they're enticing us. This is how it's going to be. It's going to be easy. You'll own nothing and still be happy. I'm not sure.
No, you're not gonna be happy. You're not gonna be happy.
Klaus Schwab, I'm not sure.
No, I think like they're distracting us. Because what they're trying to say is that, you know, we shouldn't have generational wealth to pass down. And that's the worst thing. It's like, I'm looking sometimes when I drive through the township, and people say, look, Sheen is a whole lot cheaper. Yes, okay, fine, on weekends you want to go out and party and drink, but you don't need to be as a student partying in Sandton. Like, yeah, look, Sheen, there are safe places there, you know, where it's more affordable. There's culture there. There's people that you can connect with. You know, we need to make our townships environments where we're re-inviting people again. I left the township at a very early age. There was a lot of swargafa, there was a lot of fear, you know, but I've seen that this fear is not helping us in any way. On my way here, I was listening to a Rodney King podcast, and because I found you busy in a meeting, you know, I just sat at the table and I closed my eyes so that I can block out all the noise, the rain, and anything else, and I could just listen to Rodney King's daughter, who was 7 years old when that incident happened. And she spoke about, you know, how it changed her and how it affected her, seeing her father like that. People saw the Rodney King video, which happened on the 3rd of March, 1991, because a helicopter was flying over, and one of the guys in the neighborhood had a video camera, and then he brought out the video camera and recorded the whole thing, and then it was sent to the news media. So this is before the times of YouTube, of Twitter, where a video can go viral, where George Floyd can go viral because someone had a phone right there. You know what I mean? It's a chance occurrence where we could see police brutality in real time. And all those police officers were acquitted, and Rodney King forgave them. And his daughter, now reflecting on his life, says, the biggest thing that affected her about the whole entire situation with her father is how black men are treated in society. And that changed her. And that's why she started a scholarship foundation to change the image of black men in society. Oh, there we go. That's load shedding.
Load shedding. Did it cut out cameras? Let's continue.
No, there's backout. There's backup. Thank you. We're in Rosebank, where all the corporations have spent a lot of money to ensure that there's a security guard every 25 meters, there's backup power everywhere. All the corporations, they said, yo, we're all moving our headquarters to Rosebank, all of us, you know what I mean? So just so you know where the privilege is in South Africa, in case they tell you, don't come to South Africa or don't visit South Africa, there's load shedding there. There's lots of places where your money will buy you out of load shedding and any of the problems that South Africa has. Trust me. Your money is good in South Africa. Trust me. South Africa's got lots of problems, but your money will buy you away from all of those problems. Trust me.
So do come and visit.
Do come
South
and visit
African
and
tourism,
bring lots of
take
money.
Take that money and give it to Nota.
No. I don't want those problems. I'm like Kanye West. I'm going to phone my billion. So, as I was saying, now that the load shedding has interrupted me, we need to bring back people to our home. We need to bring them back to our townships. We need to bring them back to see our townships, so that they can see what effect they can have. You guys send fundile buffet, send them a PhD, send a young into, but your cousins are still struggling. Your cousins are teenage pregnant and all that stuff, and you guys are chartered accountants and everything else. That's nothing to be proud of. You understand? Your skills are supposed to be used to benefit your families. Your skills are supposed to be used to benefit your entire bloodline. You're supposed to create generational wealth with what's been invested in you, because your families have sacrificed everything. People have sacrificed.
I'm with you on that one.
Some of us were there. Some of us were there. Nabo, AKA, were there marching with the students. People thought, oh no, AKA is doing it for publicity. No, he was doing that to protect the students.
Yeah, we're there on Fees Must Fall.
Why? Because no students were shot where there were celebrities. Because there's cameras there and there's media there. You understand? And I was saying about that Rodney King story as well. Because he was on camera, there was at least a trial. We could see the brutality of the police. And that's the importance of the cameras. I had also my encounter with police brutality myself.
More than once.
Uncle Vinny has had his encounter with police brutality himself. We've seen how, brutal the police can be. Andris Tatane died more than 10 years ago. He was shot by the police. His daughter now grows up without a father, and he was fighting for service delivery, at the hands of the police. We watched that on camera. And why is it that we are allowed to watch black men being killed on camera, and it's normalized, and then it's celebrated, and there's memorial services, there's flowers, presidents come to speak, you know what I mean? Why is it that we're allowed to watch black children dying? There was another thing that I found very concerning as well. I'm not gonna mention the artists involved or whatever, but what I saw Distel doing, advertising alcohol brands and targeting people who have got a very large youth component in their audience. It's very easy right now for me to check DJ Spoo. I go into your Facebook, your Instagram, I look at the age profile of your followers, and I see who's your target audience. If I go to a young Amapiano artist or something,
or Uncle Vinny, or Young Stana,
but let's not, because what I'm about to say, Uncle Vinny doesn't do any alcohol brands.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Uncle Vinny. No, I spoke to him about this.
I'm saying that a young audience.
He told me. He said, yo, Uncle Nota, you know, I saw that thing that you were saying. I don't do alcohol brands. I know that the kids are the ones who watch me. And I don't want to, you understand?
Shout outs to you, Uncle Vinny.
He performs in the club where he's paid and everything else. But when he does a brand, it's a Cheppies brand or, you know what I mean? Like that sort of stuff. And he says, yes, because I know that the people that are following me are kids. And we had Enyobeni Tavern happen. You know, we're 21 young kids and we cannot be making it cool. I drive on the highway, I see a big billboard, I see an artist that's 21 or younger, you know, or got a fan base that's teenagers, you know what I mean? And it's very concerning. You know, we should be seeing bigger examples. I don't see billboards of Shoma Josie, who's, you know, now promoting her book, which is teaching girls self-confidence, you know, teaching girls the culture of reading. Have you seen her book tour and how packed it's been, and young girls and parents and everything else? You know, she's not just terrorizing parents' pockets during Christmas when you guys have to buy braids, multicolored braids for your daughters. At least now she's also
giving back.
You know, influencing and. You know, empowering the mind. You know what I mean? It's not just about her, me. Okay, I want to have the latest song that's on the top of the charts, and that's what you need to start seeing. And I mean, Shoma Josie, I think she's a 92, ne? Or something.
I don't know.
She's older.
I think no, she's young. She's young.
I'm saying she's older than a lot of these younger artists who we should be seeing. You know, really doing a lot better with preserving the innocence of the fragile minds of their audiences. You know, TikTok has taken over. I won't lie, I've been hanging out with a lot more people now. COVID is over, you know, I've started to get out a lot more. And now that I'm seeing people, because I don't actually have TikTok, I don't use TikTok.
Oh, you're missing out, bro. You don't have TikTok?
No, I told myself.
Yo, TikTok, South Africa, let's get Nota on TikTok. Let's get Nota on TikTok.
No, I've got a TikTok account. I've opened it just to save my handle. I've posted there a couple of times.
What's your TikTok account?
At Lavid Nota. It's there. Like, people have seen my TikTok. People follow me and everything else. People tag me and things. I understood the effect that social media has on you, and if you're overexposed to social media, you know what I mean? And I've been managing a whole lot of people's accounts as well.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? A whole lot of high profile accounts, a whole lot of verified accounts, you know what I mean? So I've been overexposed to a lot of the media messaging. So even like something like Twitter, I knew that, you know, I've got I'm not just working here, you know, they're working on me, you know.
You said it's Lavid Nota, ne?
At Lavid Nota, yeah. So instead of me working on Twitter is working on me. So I've got a bit of a problem. I've got an addiction. I was like, you know what? The only way for me to control my addiction here is to get myself off the platform and get myself removed off the platform. So I got myself removed off Twitter. So
how did you get yourself removed off Twitter?
I just made sure that.
When did it happen?
No, in December.
Is it?
So I was like, yeah.
Also, you're not on Twitter now?
No.
Okay. I haven't been on Twitter in a while.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
At least that helps me with that behavior, so I don't need to check.
Because Amapiano is going to blow up and be bigger than Afrobeats. There's no more Afrobeats hits. There's no Ojo Alegba. There's no more There's no more. Vocalistic is going to be touring Europe, like, as soon as this pandemic is over.
And this was in 2021. You predicted it. This is touring Europe now.
2021.
This is 2021
this
August.
2019, yeah, but I posted it in 2021.
Oh, okay.
To blow up and be bigger than.
No, 2020, beginning of 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, this is 2020.
Yeah.
I recorded that in 2020.
Okay, I just started following you. So please, man, participate more and post more. There's only 4 posts here. You haven't posted since 2021,
No. I don't want to. No, people already post. Like, people must take my long form videos. People must take my clips. You know, Sila.
And put them everywhere.
Yeah, that's the Robot Boy Sila challenge. You know what I mean? We did that, you know, in Langaban. You understand?
But they're already doing that. Are you aware of a channel on YouTube called Everybody Hates Nota?
Yeah. I saw that the other day. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah.
You're giving them the permission?
Yeah, of course.
Nice.
Like, yeah, no, they've been doing that. So, like, I'm fine with that.
You're the enrutate of South Africa.
Hey, Yeah. No. Andrew Tate has been arrested.
No, but I'm saying in the,
No, but you know what?
the strategy of getting.
South Africa is a country with human rights.
I understand, but I'm talking about just getting your followers.
Unlike Romania.
Getting your followers to post your content.
Yeah.
Because as much as it's cancelled, not on these platforms, these videos are everywhere.
But I started that before Andrew Tate. I've been doing that. You know what I mean? That's why I've never been on TikTok, because I knew that I'll allow my supporters to monetize my content. I'll allow them to benefit from sharing my content. You know what I mean? And that's what I do. To gain power, you need to give power. You know, and that's what I do. People even said, "Yo, this guy is Chris Excel." No, I'm not Chris Excel.
Oh yeah, I heard some people say.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not Chris Excel, but
who's Chris Excel?
I pass him work. He's a guy.
Okay.
The name is
shout out to Chris. Whoever
he got dogs. His name is Azola Tabane.
Oh, it's Azola.
Yeah,
Azola Tabane. Let's see.
Yeah, people know who he is. He got dogs. People exposed him. You know what I mean? But you know, it's too late to expose him. He's got almost 1.5 million followers now. He's headed for 2 million followers soon. When Twitter Blue is in South Africa, he's going to be verified with over 1 million followers. He's got lots of customers. He does lots of promotions.
Oh, he's a good-looking young man.
Yeah, you understand? He's got some man boobs. You know what I mean?
He's got some man boobs.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He's got some...
Azo, like Christopher Tabane.
In your vest.
Okay.
You know?
Dope.
So, you know, it's like boobs in your vest. Yeah. So
you and Peniel are not on Twitter now?
No,
he's also not on Twitter.
No, he's back.
Or did they got him back?
No, yeah, man, you're forgetting. Yeah. You know,
they need to get me back as well. Elon Musk, come on, man.
No. We just need to go to Elon Musk's offices. We're gonna go there. Elon Musk is in the office at least in a month. He spends 2 weeks inside Twitter. You know, so we'll go to the office. We'll go. Okay. He gives people 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go to the offices. Like, let's not a loud hailer from South Africa. No, we can go to his offices. Sringenaye, grand, he knows the value. You understand? And once you're working with value and you've got value exchange, you know that it's just about the right introduction.
Value exchange.
You understand?
But our artists extracting their value enough and fairly knowing their value?
Not.
And do they even know their value?
That's why they tweet. Because if you know you're famous, when you turn off the Twitter, you can have your Twitter account suspended and you still trend. I've trended already January, February. I've trended since December 2021. There's not a month that I haven't trended. So that's December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. 15 months.
What do you trend for? I haven't been on Twitter in almost a year.
Any content that is up there, any content from long form that is taken into short form content, as long as I'm there, it'll trend, which means that people are there to watch whatever content I'm giving them. You understand? There's value that they get from that. They derive value. They learn from that. People are making money from the decisions they're making from the value that I'm giving for free. And I'm giving this value for free, but it's not mahal. It's for free, but it's not mahal.
But we want you to start a podcast. Why aren't you starting a podcast?
Because I don't need to.
I've been trying to push Nota to start a podcast, guys.
I don't need to start a podcast because...
Why not, bro?
It prevents me from being a guest. You understand what I'm saying?
No.
Yes.
You'll still be a guest everywhere.
Joe Rogan, because he's a podcaster, he cannot be a guest. He has to rotate the guests. And he has to now anchor himself. And that's the problem. It's a service that he has. And Joe Rogan does a great service for the entire world. How much have we been misled by mainstream media had it not been for Joe Rogan? You know, even though Joe Rogan has benefited from a lot of the racist media himself, you know, he hasn't used it to bludgeon us as black people. Someone was criticizing Joe Rogan for saying, you know, Italian people are associated with pizza just like Jewish people are associated with money, and saying that is an anti-Semitic statement. It's not an anti-Semitic statement. It's a true statement. That's what people believe. And there's reasons why people believe that, because, you know, certain groups of people have certain advantages in certain things because they invest in that. If the Indian people are known for their silk and they're known for their hair and everything else, and we associate them with their spices, are we being anti-Indian? If we associate...
That's you, nah?
Yeah,
it's not me. Mine's are fine.
Yeah, but it's vibrating. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
it's Eva Mudika. So
speak to her. Put her on speaker.
No,
say hello. It's okay. Ask her when is she coming to the podcast.
Eva, I'm doing the Hustlers Corner with DJ Sbu. He's asking when are you coming to the Hustlers Corner with DJ Sbu? We're on Hustlers Corner with DJ Spoo right now.
Oh, really?
You're live. South Africa's watching.
So where? Live on what channel?
You're gonna be on YouTube, obviously, but they're listening to you talking on my phone because you're on the mic.
Oh my goodness! I wanted to talk.
Yes.
Why would you do that?
When are you coming? When are you coming to the Hustlers Corner?
I can come on Monday, but can we off speaker? Can we talk?
Hello, Eva.
It's fine. Okay, it's fine. Don't worry. We won't share our business trade secrets.
So we'll do it next week, right?
Monday or Tuesday. Sorry?
We'll do it next week, right?
Yeah, next week we can do it. Definitely.
Where's your store? Where's your store? Where's your makeup shop? Where? Where in Sandton? Sandton is big.
Mandela Square by Da Vinci Hotel, level 4. And yeah, just next to Tang.
Next to Tang, the restaurant.
Yeah, Roko Mama's.
Okay, cool.
Nice. See you next week, yeah?
See you next week.
I think it'll be dope to record it at your store and promote the store.
Yeah, let's do that actually.
All right, we'll talk.
Do you have men's makeup?
I don't wear makeup.
Men can, like men use, remember skin, so you can't really say men's makeup. There's no such a thing as men's makeup. We all use the same makeup. Remember, the skin is the same. You just say, do you have shades for me? Like a shade for Nota, a shade for Spoo. But we all use the same makeup.
Okay, cool.
Like on set, like when they act, they do. Yeah, ask Spoo. He probably knows this.
Yeah.
I remember the friends like these ones.
Yeah, on SABC.
Yeah, like we can powder your face.
Okay.
So you don't sweat. You know what I mean?
Okay.
On air.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. No problem. Sharp. Okay, I'll chat to you now when I'm done with this. Sharp.
Can we chat?
Yeah. Sharp.
Why is it like you're trying to block it from saying stuff? I know what's going on with you.
No.
Business?
She's up to. I'm a mentor. So
okay.
a lot of
Say
these
that again.
girls. I'm a
With a
mentor.
straight eye.
I'm a mentor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a mentor.
Okay,
I
believe you.
Yeah, even Chris Excel.
Yeah.
I'm a mentor to him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
all of these guys that are on the internet.
Doing
what
their
I
thing.
found is
Yeah.
that a lot of the creators, a lot of the internet that are not celebrities, that are not from TV, they were left out. So I thought if I could give them knowledge on how to move, we'll have a whole lot more creators within the space. And now we've got a whole lot. I was just opening up the space. Instead of saying, yo, let's open up the space, I just said, okay, let me open up the space. What do you need? What information do you need? You know what I mean? I say, okay, Chris, you do campaigns and everything else. Okay, fine. This is how I advise you to move. This is the type of content that you should be consuming if you want to, have sources that you're referencing from. You know what I mean? So that you've got a deep well that you're drawing from. So he knows how to maintain his page, how to keep the content going. He knows how to create that persona going, and he's feeding his family. You know what I mean? Chris Excel, come on. You think 1.4 million followers? He's always got a campaign. He's always got a campaign.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? All of them are eating.
Yeah.
All these CBD Twitter guys that you think are nothing, that you think are trolls, all of them are eating. It's big business. And Abo Eva, the most important thing about Abo Eva is that Abo Eva also have access to all the clubs, all the nightlife. You know what I mean? They move around, and they move around not just hosting, but they move around with people who are spending lots of money. You understand what I'm saying?
I get you.
It's networks.
So they're a commodity also.
Not just a commodity, it's networks. That is it. It's the network effect. Like the girls that are hosting at the club, they're part of my network. There's a guy who's a baller who might own a company or whatever, who might be an investor in something. You know what I mean? And that's another relationship that you need to maintain. You can't now be shutting out these relationships thinking, no, I'm all snooty, I've arrived, I'm all holier than thou, I'm better than everybody else. And another thing is that, yes, we know the stigma, right? I've taken a stance, very particularly, because I thought, you know what? You can't fight it. And there's a new mentee that I'm also mentoring, a young girl. She's turning 20 soon. So I think, okay, we'll say she's 20 years old. She's a rapper. And I had a meeting with her. First meeting I have with her, I say, listen, my first concern is your OnlyFans, right?
She's got an OnlyFans account.
Yeah. She's got her OnlyFans. So I say, my first concern is the OnlyFans. And mind you, when she comes to this meeting, already she's dressed in a way where everybody at the restaurant is like, yeah.
And umntwana lo.
And you know, like sometimes nabo Dr. Khumalo ngabe khone nebo Tibotach, you know, abo Steve Kompela. You understand what I'm saying?
Lunguzing there.
Yeah, I'm saying, mind you. You understand whose daughter is this that came here?
I don't think they're asking it that way.
No. I'm just thinking like,
but,
you know what I mean?
but
Like,
just
that's the
lulling
thing.
their necks and just
So I ask her like, this attention, like, you know, what does it do for you? Like, do you like it? Do you embrace it? You know, now you can't go to a taxi rank. You have to be in an Uber the whole entire time. It's expensive. Like, no, I've got an OnlyFans and my OnlyFans pays my rent.
Wow.
And
she's hustling.
I don't use my OnlyFans to do pornography.
What happens on OnlyFans?
So she says her OnlyFans, she only shows nude breasts.
Oh, okay.
Which in our culture, I was like, oh, well.
You do it from your home, ne? From your bedroom.
I was like, okay. You know that girls, when they show nude breasts, they are virgins. There's a purity that they're maintaining when that. So if I'm going to assist you, I need to know that if you are keeping this OnlyFans under those pretexts, that you are maintaining this OnlyFans and you are behaving yourself and you are assigning yourself to maintain that behavior, you know, because we cannot now put you out there and make you be famous to influence and induct girls into prostitution, which is what social media is doing already, human trafficking. You know, it's already a concern. It's already a very big concern a lot of parents are doing. So, you know, I thought to myself, how do we fight this? Because they're exposed to the phones. They've got the internet. They've got the inclination to go on there, make some money for themselves without anybody knowing. They can do it without anybody knowing. How do we encourage good behavior? We need to role model it. We need to model it. We need to use our culture. You know, we need to use the fact that we've got the reed dances that protect young girls. You know what I mean? From child rape and all of these things that stop the teenage pregnancy that we're seeing. We need to actually address it. We can't be crying, oh, teenage pregnancy, we've broken a record, as if we're going to celebrate it every year. Oh, this year we've broken another record. Oh, broke the last year's record of teenage pregnancy. Like, we're celebrating this thing, and it's a dysfunction of our society, and it's the corruption of our society. It's like the watching of black men dying on TV. It desensitizes people. It changes us. And we are being desensitized to seeing these young girls in school uniform with their bellies out, and we know that there's a child inside there. You know what I mean? It's not from malnourishment or kwashiorkor or something like that. You know what I mean? So that has changed. That has changed. We know that young girls are being abused. Young girls' bodies have been commodified. And it's black girls whose bodies are commodified. And it's been an attack on black girls. And it's been an attack on black masculinity to say that as black people, you will not be able to defend your daughters. You know, we see it. We've got mixed raced people. You know, we've people who identify as colored and, you know, Khoisan people who have been mixed with Europeans because of the rape that has happened within our history. It's a very painful history. But we cannot now be so shocked by the pain and be so numbed by the pain that we don't actually positively and actively address it. So I addressed that whole entire thing with her as well. And okay, she made that promise. Okay, cool. And then I said, okay, fine. Then let's also look at how, if you become famous and if we help you get your music out there, how are you going to become a positive role model? These are the things that one asks before you engage with a young talent and then shove them into the spotlight. You need to know their intention. How are they going to positively use this influence that they're going to get, you know, from being in the spotlight? Because it needs to have some intentionality from the outset, you know. And if we are more intentional, then we won't see people self-destructing in the way that we've seen them self-destructing.
I think that's what the Miss SA does as well, ne?
You understand?
Yeah.
So we need to stop people from self-destructing. And Miss SA shelters these young women. My concern with Miss SA is that, you know, it blocks them from other opportunities. They don't become anything outside of Miss SA. Whereas with like musicians, they can perform, they can gig, and they're not tied down to whoever owns the pageant. You know what I mean? So that's another opportunity, but we need to start creating more and more of these opportunities. These nightclubs, I don't mind my niece or my cousin working at the nightclub or hosting. My cousin was hosting at Drama the other day. She's young. I know she's well raised. That's my cousin. I watched over her. I took her to a metric dance. I know her. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not worried about whether she's going to be safe wherever she is. And it's my family. With your family, no one's going to touch your family and just get away with it. So, you never need to worry about such things. But that's where they're meeting people, they're networking, they're engaging, that's where we got our networks as well when we went out. And that's the age group that they need to be doing. So we cannot disadvantage the girls by saying, oh no, it's unsafe and everything else, and saying, oh no, it's just human trafficking that's happening in the nightclub, because we can actually have safe nightclubs. We can encourage safety. We can encourage the brands. We say, okay, fine. How much money does LVMH spend to have their branding at such a nightclub? Okay, if you're spending that much money, can we also ensure that if there's a complaint by young girls that they're getting abused in this nightclub, that you guys will withdraw your sponsorship and you'll act in the best interests of the young women that need to be patrons at this place, that also need to be able to access the nightlife, that also need to be able to walk in the streets safely. We need to make it our responsibility to make sure that we are bragging about how safe places are where women can walk in the streets. Rosebank is safe. Girls can walk in the streets from Opera to her apartment at the top of the streets at night. There's a police station there. There's security guards watching each and every single inch. There's cameras. You know what I mean? That should be normalized. In New York, that's what you were doing. You were pulling out your phone, taking selfies at 4 a.m. at night, talking to the world, being inspired, doing your things. You understand? But you're free. You can't do that at gas because, you understand what I'm saying?
Even CBD.
But I'm just saying, you understand what I'm saying? And now just imagine being robbed of that expression. You are imprisoned, you're a caged bird. And we need to be able to free ourselves. We need to be able to free the youth. We need to make sure that our youth have safe spaces. Our township needs to be safe, and they need us to be watching over our townships. They need us to be there, on the weekends, visiting our grandmothers, making sure that our cousins are safe, making sure they're coming in, making sure that our grandmothers are checking the reports of our cousins, because our cousins are lying.
Exactly what you're saying. On Friday's episode, we had Nhlamulo, and I asked him about his participation with Operation Tutula. He did say he's no longer a part of Operation Tutula.
Yeah, he's now in Nhlamulo's foundation.
Yeah, he's actually even moving from. He is with Soweto Parliament, but he's forming. He's
left leadership of Soweto Parliament. Yeah,
but he says he's just formed the Nhlamulo's foundation. But basically, that's basically what Nhlamulo has been doing.
Yeah.
Being on the ground with the Gogos.
I was inspired by him.
That is doing
I was inspired by him.
You know what I mean?
Nhlamulo came to my apartment.
They call
in
it
Dainfern.
Active citizenship.
He came to my apartment in Dainfern, Nhlamulo. Said, you're from Soweto. Your grandmother's house in Soweto. You're here, chilling, relaxing. Your cousins are out there. You understand? You're not going back home. You understand? So it's not like he's just doing it. And he didn't do it for the cameras. He came to my house. He sat on the couch. You understand what I'm saying? And he pulled me, said, no, come to the hood. So that's my relationship with Nhlamulo. It goes way back. I've known him for a very long time. So we need to do that. I was with Pro Kids and DJ City Light's last remaining brother. This is like this week. Valentine's Day is the anniversary of his City Lights passing.
Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So DJ City Lights is passing, and he was telling me about his grandmother's house where they grew up, and the children, City Lights son. You understand?
KS
Straight. Yeah. And Pro Kids daughter, because I think that we need to assist a lot of our brothers and their families manage their estates.
And while we're still on that point, may soul rest in peace. I just want to say big up to Slicker for being very involved in helping out with the estate. But let me also emphasize this point, because I still get some other people who actually think TS Records didn't pass on the Masters Zaga Pro Kit to the estate. We actually did.
Yeah,
So you can go do
they
the
passed them to
research. It
Slicker.
was done.
Yeah.
Slicker also helped and he facilitated it with the family lawyers. That process was done a long time ago. So I do know that some of you guys don't get these messages sometimes.
But post that, like I'm saying that even though that situation had happened, Usiti Lights had approached me and saying, listen, he'd like some additional assistance. Because obviously with Pro Kid stuff, you guys made it.
And you also need to know how to monetize this thing.
But you made it.
Yeah.
It was your concepts, it was your ideas. And now he who was there, the guy recording it, the vessel for those ideas, is not here, and his family doesn't have those expertise. So we need to be giving our expertise and helping, because that's how we're going to help people maintain ownership. That's another thing that I was talking about, because we're debating it.
Last
like,
week,
you know what? Let's not tell people, oh, maintain ownership. Let's actually teach them. We can do it for free. You know what I mean? We're not charging you. We're not signing you guys. You know what I mean? We're saying we are going to give you consultation because we know that the net effect of all of us protecting our rights is that we are all better enriched. And at some point in time, we can all help each other acquire other rights. We can acquire other assets. You know what I mean? We need to make sure that our music industry for South African and for our black artists is our stock fail. We need to make sure that we own it. Michael Jackson's estate is selling half of his rights as well. You know, they're raising for $900 million or between $750 million and $900 million.
I saw that.
They're selling that. And they're cashing out. And then Quality Control.
They let go of that for 300 million.
Has been sold to the company that owns BTS.
Did they sell the entire catalog?
They sold everything, the entire company.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Little Baby stuff, the Migos stuff.
Everything that's Quality Control. So 300
million dollars.
300 Entertainment.
Yeah, or the company,
was sold for
Layo Cohen actually started that company.
Yeah, I know. He's at YouTube now.
Yeah.
And some of his team from YouTube has now also moved to Warner with the new CEO that has now moved in at Warner in the States as well. The guy who was behind the team that did Content ID at YouTube is now moved to Warner as well. Okay. And Warner has also acquired the distribution rights for the Drinks Champs podcast.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they're going to be distributing.
Shout out to Puffy because they're on the Revolt podcast network.
Puffy is a partner with Warner as well. Okay. Warner a part owner in Revolt as well, and Warner are 50% owners in the Bad Boy catalog.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And I also wanted to ask you that why is it that a lot of artists, like, they're either cashing out of their catalog, or they're either, and which goes back to our conversation from last week, or they're either selling some sort of stake. I mean, I just heard about Justin Bieber, Dr. Dre.
Well, Justin Bieber, he lost a lot of money in crypto. Yeah. So he needs money to maintain his life, to maintain everything. And yeah. But that's why they gave me the name Nhlamulo. To have an answer for everything.
We call you the authority.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I know. I know. Umbonile ngama crypto monkey, ngama ape. Understand? Yeah. So you know, the funniest thing about me being named Nhlamulo is that even though my cousin is 19 years old, he plays for Kaizer Chiefs. He's in the first team.
Oh wow, that's dope! Yeah, congratulations.
His second name is Karabo.
Yeah,
because he's named after me.
Also, is the answer.
He's named after his cousin.
Yeah.
That's how much my aunt and my uncle love me.
Yeah.
They named their child after me. That's how much they love me. When they were struggling to have a kid, I used to visit my aunt all the time. She used to stay in Leondale. So I used to always be on Leondale. She had a swimming pool, you know, and I learned how to swim the hard way. My first swimming lesson, my sister was instructed to take me to swimming class in grade 1 at Sharon Primary, you know, and I was in the shallow end and I was trying to float and I was drowning. And my sister just watched me.
Sure.
Didn't help me, didn't do anything. And then I just
Can she swim?
Yeah, no, my sister. Oh,
she could swim even then.
My sister could swim in the ocean.
Why did she just watch you though?
Let me tell you why my sister was told to watch me.
Yeah.
The first time I tried to swim in the ocean was sometime that year. we went to Durban on holiday. We went to KZN, we went to Umdloti Beach, and my dad allowed me to run out. My mom allowed me to run out. My dad was watching me. And then I swam into the ocean, and then big waves caught me, and they were washing me, and then I was drowning in the ocean, right? Not knowing that my dad was actually watching me, and he was chasing after me because he knows that if something happens to me, my mom is going to kill him. So he pulled me out of the water and saved my life. And then he took me back to our chalet at Perna. And then we just kept quiet. It was our little secret because he knew that if I tell mom that, yo, I nearly drowned. Yeah. You understand? So it was just our little secret. And then I was like, okay, I need to learn how to swim. So when I went to school, I said, no, mom, tell Sisi Basani to take me to swimming lessons. Because my sister could actually swim in the ocean, like where the boats are outside in Cape Town, in Atlantic Ocean. My sister can swim in there like a white person. You know what I mean? And she's 6 years older.
Like a white person.
Yeah, only white people will swim in Atlantic Ocean. But when you get in that water, it freezes your brain. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. She swims like a white person. You understand? She's got white person skin. So that experience, and then I learned to calm down because earlier, this traveling thing, we went to Bela Bela, to Aventura.
The resort.
Yeah, the resort. And there was the warm pools. And in those flotation devices that all those kids, have, like went over me. And while it was over me, I was like also almost drowning. But then I learned, calm down. And then crawl from under it. So when I was in the pool drowning and my sister was just watching me saying, okay, I want to see if this guy's going to drown or not. I just said, let me calm down. Nah. And then I walked on the floor and I held onto the steps and then I climbed out of the pool. And then I was like, okay, cool. And then I realized that, you know what, my boy? No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to help you. In this life, you need to calm down. You need to figure it out, and my teacher and my sister taught me that tough lesson, that hard lesson, there, like the good way, So I love the tough lesson. I love the hardship, and I don't want to deny anyone that level of learning, that level of hardship. And you only get that when you flap your wings, you experiment. You know what I mean? So if we're now going to shelter young girls and we're going to protect them and we're going to put a fence around them, we're not going to allow them to grow, and we're disadvantaging them. You know what I mean? It's actually the worst thing. It's women disempowerment, That's it. You're taking them and you're making sure that they've got soft shells to go out into the world. You're leaving them exposed.
But also we have to do it up until a certain extent. Because we still need to protect them.
Yes, we need to protect them from bad acting. But the way to protect them from bad acting is to incentivize good behavior. That's what I'm trying to say, is that if we are bragging about, my town is the place where girls can walk in the streets at night, no one needs to worry. You understand? That's why I say, I know that I've done the work, so I don't need to worry if my cousins are out late at night. The same sister who watched me while I was drowning, when she went to Pretoria, it's propaganda now, but it was owned by some other person. Her drink got spiked. And who did she call? She called her brother. And then her brother made sure she got home. She lost her keys. In the morning at 8 a.m. when she woke up, her Planet Fitness tag was next to her in the bag with her car keys. Why?
Because she had a brother.
You understand what I'm saying? So we need to make sure that we are out there and she knows she can go there in Pretoria and, and even if she gets spiked, there are mechanisms to ensure that she's safe. Because I called the owners there. They checked on the cameras. They checked, this is where your sister was. Oh, here's the person that spiked. Oh, here's where they took her car keys. On the cameras. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's it. So we need to make sure that our spaces are safe. If you go to the clubs in Rosebank, that there's cameras. You're going to call the owners. They're going to check the records. There was that situation where there was a video of me sleeping in the club. The club owner gave me already the full record. He got it on camera. Who took the picture? You know what I mean?
When another camera is just supposed to just do one job.
He said, what should I do about it? I said, no, leave it. It's content, Chief. And I'm thinking some of the promises that we make to our parents and we never get to fulfill, they end up haunting us. It doesn't matter how many millions or billions you make. Those promises that you made to your mother, they will haunt you forever, So the reason why I want to go back to school, I want to go to the University of Austin. And I want to study there. And I want to study, not just theology, the African origins of Christianity, But I also want to study, I want to be a scholar in Africana, studies.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I get you.
And I'm not willing to start my podcast until I'm a qualified with a degree.
Okay.
Just like my sister's got a PhD, Mtanagiti went and did a PhD.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that's the level. So when she speaks in a PhD at the head of the table. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. So now I need to make sure that I get my chance to speak at the head of the table. Meleng Funde. And that's it. So that's another reason why I've been, going to the States is for studies.
Okay. Have you applied?
That's what I'm going to do now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is for 2024?
Yeah.
Okay.
For 2024.
But at least this year we can still have...
to study 2024, 2025, and to graduate in 2026 and celebrate at the World Cup.
Okay. Everything all planned out.
Yeah, so that's my obviously because my cousin is going to be playing for Bafana. I told my cousin, I said, listen, Bafana's qualification is based on you. If you don't believe you're 19 years old, you've got an opportunity. You're playing for the first team of Kaizer Chiefs right now. You need to look around and say, which guys do I see in the PSL in South African football that I think can play in a World Cup of quality? Get together, discipline one another, keep each other accountable. You understand? Make sure that you're beating your milestones. That's how you guys do it. And it just takes that foundation of a core team.
And they can even change the future of South Africa.
That's it.
Because you remember the spirit of soccer, what it did to the country then, when the guys were winning.
I sat my aunt down. I said, this is a $1 billion athlete. This is a $1 billion athlete. This is not just your son. This is a $1 billion athlete. This is our generational debt gone. In the Molefe family. That's my family, the Sotho side of my family. You know what I mean? As well. I've got Sotho blood, so I've got family, I've got lots of networks. That is the generational wealth. And we need to invest in that. You know what I mean? That's the family business. We cannot allow it to go by the wayside. And we need to invest in protecting that and all the skills that are necessary to protect that. If it needs accountants, we need an accountant. If it needs sports psychologists, we need a sports psychologist. If it needs a lawyer, we need legal expertise. So within the family, that's how we protect our talent. And, our talented children need to be treated like that. As soon as we see that we've got a Michael Jackson in our family, Joe Jackson needs to get all the other rugrats in line. You understand? So that even if Michael is no longer able to be on the stage, even if in his absence we have to sell part of his assets for $1 billion, we've still got Janet, who's willing to world tour, who sells out stadiums anywhere in the world. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a family business, it's a family thing, and that's what we need to be able to do. The same thing that you weren't able to do with your daughter when she was still too young, and you were able to do that for Tuso, who's now a Hollywood star. Do you understand what I'm saying? And you were able to make sure that she's at least got someone watching, a guardian angel over her to open up certain doors so that, she's protected, she's guarded. You're able to do that for your daughter now. She's now the one who's the salesperson for MoFire. She's learning confidence. She's learning how to be a salesperson, how to go out there. That's how I learned how to be a salesperson. I was the best salesperson. I used to make bran muffins. Why? Because I knew that I'd tell the parents that these are bran muffins. They're good for your digestive. And the parents would spend more money on my muffins for their kids because the other stuff is, bad. Because I already knew as a kid with ADHD, I was not allowed to have MSG. I was not allowed to have tartrazine. I was not allowed to have Coca-Cola. We drank Tab. All those types of things, that our parents were really hyper aware of, the type of nutrients we had. We had, a lot of fish because of omega, brain food, entropics, all of that stuff. I was able to use that when I'm selling stuff. I was like, oh, all these little ailments that they keep telling me that I've got that are making me different, that are making me unique, are making me make unique products, that have added value. It's like, oh yes, if you have that muffin, it's not going to help your digestive system, and you just had knickknacks and you just had all these stuff, and you know what I mean? This is something that you need for your digestive system. I'm watching you teach that to your daughter. I was with Vusi Liu's children The other day, Vusilu pays another a small company, a small business, 1,000 rand, I think, per child, every 2 weeks to teach his kids entrepreneurship. They were doing 3D printing. They slaughtered a sheep, dissected it.
Nice.
You know what I mean? They were teaching us 3D printing. They were making products with 3D printing.
My man, they can even build houses now with 3D printing.
I took Mansa.
They're even making meat.
And go and see that. You know what I mean? And Vusilu sitting there, he has no clue how 3D printing works. Anything else. But
shout out to Grootman. Shout out to the legend. You've helped everybody in this industry. Shout out to you, Grootman. There's other heroes that are not appreciated enough.
Yes.
Mr. Vusilu, thank you.
Yes.
You know. And those who know.
Those who know. So he has no clue how the whole entire thing, works. But his children are now going to learn the entrepreneurship skills that he had, that he helped him sell Kwaito when no one had the entrepreneurship skills. Ekasi. You know what I mean? When you're wondering why Kasis like Zola are so famous, you know what I mean? Or like anything that we've sold within our culture, the hustler culture, needs to be passed on. It needs to be taught. The hustler culture that was put on like mainstream TV, when you were on TV, when you were on radio as well, is something that needs to be retaught as well right now. Uncle Vinny is doing that for the kids. You know what I mean? Like Uncle Vinny was hustling kids.
He was saying it on shout outs to Uncle Vin, dope interview on the McG podcast. He was saying it, even security companies know him because that's how aggressive he was with his hustle.
Yeah, that's how
he was trying to get on all these shows and eventually made it to the top of the stage, and even Ricky embraced him, and then he just changed his life forever. How beautiful is that? A young kid who already knew that sense of spirit of being not taking no for an answer.
You understand? So that's why, like, even at Ricky's memorial, when Sizwe was speaking, Sizwe made that speech dedicated to Uncle Vinny for a reason, because there's a lot of kids that are looking at him. There's a lot of kids that were looking up at Ricky as well. And those kids need that encouragement. Those kids need to know that, listen, they can be somewhere. They can go somewhere. They can do something with their lives, And Uncle Vinny is the embodiment of that spirit, And Ricky taught us that as well as Amakrotman, to also embrace the kids.
Embrace
and
the kids.
Like right now, I'm mentoring a whole lot of kids. I spend a lot of time with Uncle Vinny. I won't lie. Like a lot of time with Uncle Vinny, all their friends and everything else. In fact, one of their friends is things are in my car. They need to take them. So I'm learning about what the kids are into, what they're up to, instead of, sitting back there, I know how generational families help. It's nice to have the young uncle who understands that, listen, you can tell your grandmother that, no, the internet is not loading, my report is not what, but the young uncle knows that this technology, you're lying.
Yeah, you're lying.
Let's see those marks, and also there to advise not to judge or say, ish, don't I am. You know what I mean? Drive slow, homie. Keep your hazard lights on. You know what I mean? If you listen to that song by Kanye West, and he talks about how they kept him away from the gang banging in Chicago, and D Block and all of that stuff. All the GDs, the gangsters' disciples around him that knew that this kid is talented. This kid is going to be a genius. He's making beats. This kid is the kid in the city. You know what I mean? They introduced him to Mace. Mace had plugs with Diddy. Mace made sure that, okay, fine, come to
It was so
New
beautiful.
York.
It was so beautiful to learn that story. That actually Mace plugged Kanye West.
Yes.
I didn't know.
Yes.
Until
Mace.
I think it was last year sometime.
Yeah, until you watched The Genius.
And I think also Kanye gave him his flowers.
He always rapped about Mace.
And I also love how he also
Mace was always my favorite.
Gave Beans his flowers also.
Yes.
Beanie Siegel.
Yes. All of them, because those were the gangster guys who could keep him protected, because he didn't have the gangster affiliation, you know what I mean? He came from the burbs. He's like me. That's why I always had the OGs, you know what I mean, that made sure that, no, Abu Smacks. I said, no, Indwana Yetule. You know what I mean? Abu Specs. No, Indwana Yamle. You understand? That's how I was introduced, So a lot of us who were kids that were bright, that they saw that, okay, fine, we could contribute and everything else. Because I came in making beats. You know what I mean? I came in with Amu telling me, no, kid, you're just a beat maker. You're not a producer. And I was looking at Amu and I'm thinking to myself, what is it going to take for me to be a producer? And thinking to myself, what is it going to take for me to have the guts to ask him a question? Like he just spoke to me. Like that's enough. Like if he says another word to me, like, I might not, wash my ears for a week or something. You know what I mean? Like Amu just spoke to me.
And this is Amu.
He insulted me, but he spoke to me.
Yeah.
You understand? Like he said that to me. You understand what I'm saying? So those are the big brothers that you need.
Oh, and by the way, Amu, you need it. We spoke about it at Musito's wedding, that you're coming to the corner. Looking forward to that episode.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Those are
and then spend 3 hours, bro, because your knowledge, you know where we come from. 3 hours.
So those are the things that we need to ensure that the kids have wings, the kids are able to fly, the kids are able to flourish. Another thing that we need, I think, now is that we need to take our music out there. We need a Nando's in New York. Guys,
and then Nando's is already all over the world. There's one
already
in Washington.
So we can open one in New York that sells coffee, that's got an open workspace. A lot of South Africans will go there. A lot of people, the one that sells Mo Fire, sells Savannah, a whole lot of South African drinks. There'll be a market for it. We've got the music, we've got everything needed to market,
to support,
to make it cool.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We've got everything. We've got the social capital. We've got the cachet right now. So we need to open that up. R&B have opened up a branch in New York. Okay. So us who are trying to step out into those places, and we need bank accounts, that side, and concierge services. R&B can represent.
R&B has already launched in New York.
In New York, they just opened up an office in New York for
Rand Merchant Bank, right?
Yeah, exactly. So R&B is opening up in New York. So they should be able to provide the capital for anyone who wants to open up a Nando's franchise in New York. That can support our products, play our music. We need to have a festival.
Oh, they've got a New York representative office, which offers a range of corporate and investment banking services for companies that invest in Africa or trade with Africa. Oh, wow. R&B's international presence.
Well, either way, I need you've got FDA approval. And you need to
so we sorted now.
Yeah, exactly.
This is beautiful, man.
You need companies that invest in Africa, right? There's a company that wants to invest in a new bottling plant in Africa, right? And then Mo Fire is the product for that bottling plant. So therefore,
oh, wow.
That's where the connection needs to be made. So you need to be able to have your laptop and hot desk there at that R&B office so you can bump into that business. They need you there
for plugging
to bring that
me
business.
With this,
you know what I mean? Yeah, they need that business. They need to be coming to a smooth Hustler's Corner. They can't just be talking to Bruce Whitfield. You know what I mean? I understand Bruce Whitfield. Yes, he's an establishment. But even Bruce Whitfield, he needs to come here. Have you got his book, Genius?
I've heard his book.
Yeah, but there's a second edition. I love it.
It's just also Mr. Bruce Whitfield knows even himself that when we're launching Mofa, he really, really shot us down. But I'm never one to hold grudges.
Yeah.
I've always
But they
respected
shot down Tesla as well.
He really shot us down.
But they need to shoot you down.
Yeah.
It's just the same way my sister watched me.
And by the way, I'm not mad at him.
No, I'm not mad at my sister either.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at my sister. She watched me in that water as a good swimmer, knowing that she's a shark herself. She's a great white. She can swim in the ocean. She watched me and she said, "You're going to figure it out." You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to be here every time. Mom's not going to have me watch you every time you're swimming. You understand? You need to figure out how to get yourself out of the water. So Bruce Whitfield is not going to give you an easy time because your goal is to make sure that in his next edition, when he does Genius 2, he writes about Mo Fire. And he says, you know what, I shot this brand down, but it grew new wings.
We proved him wrong, and that's good.
It grew new wings.
It burnt.
You know what I mean? It's a lizard. You know what I mean? The tail never ends.
It came with a burning
back.
Desire.
You know
grows
what I mean?
back,
Yeah,
bro.
it grows
they
back.
Never stopped. You can't stop it.
Yeah,
but
it's a dragon.
You can't stop an idea whose time
a
has arrived.
Komodo.
Yeah, Komodo.
You understand? Spitting flames.
Yeah.
You know
I love you, bro.
I love you too, man. Thank you so much for showing us so much love on the internet. Like, you show a lot of people love and you plug them. Thank you. You didn't need to apologize to the people that were commenting or anything else. I didn't feel like I was being interrupted. Like, I'm being honest, I didn't. I've said everything I wanted to say.
But we want your podcast once again. Know that.
Yes.
You're going to see a lot of comments.
I told you why
I know
what I'm stopping for. And another thing that, I want to thank you for. Thank you for bringing me Penwell.
Oh, yeah.
I finally found a use for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I finally found a use for him. Penwell, I'm going to use him to write my memoir.
Oh,
Yeah.
brilliant. He's a brilliant writer, by the
Yeah,
way.
exactly.
A lot of people don't know that about Penny. He's a brilliant writer.
But like,
He's got multiple books out.
like I think like he could be a Walter Isaacson.
He's brilliant,
You
man.
know, of all the guests that you've got, I think that's another thing that Virtual Mkuku needs to start doing. Like, get your guests in, but start writing books about these people. Because Penyo writes the books.
And get these guys also to
You know what I
master
mean?
classes.
That's the
Teach.
thing. Because once we are able to do that, and through my book, I'll have a presence on Twitter. Through the Everybody Hates NB Twitter account, it's going to start sharing my book. You know what I mean? I'm going to also host Twitter Spaces through that thing. It's going to have its own social media manager that does that. So it's going to be like a radio station and audio, you know, station. I'm also doing I'm also producing a new podcast as well that's going to be reviewing music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Got a young cast that I've put together, a young crew of guys. Some of them you know, some of them you're going to be reintroduced to.
Nice.
And I'm overseeing that because we need to have a place where people are consuming the music to actually talk about the music that they're consuming.
Yeah.
If you check, I don't know if you ever go to charts.youtube.com.
No.
It shows you like the top 100 songs, top 100 music videos.
Charts.youtube.com.
Yeah, it shows you the top performing songs on YouTube, you know, and YouTube is the main platform where people are consuming music and everything these days, you know. That's our main payer, you know, our main moneymaker in the music business is YouTube right now. So if you go to charts.youtube, you'll see the performance, you'll see what songs are trending. Chris Brown has been number one, you know, for quite a while. So his fan base is really up
Thank
there.
you for plugging me, bro.
Yeah, so Calvin Momo is just
South
overtaken.
Africa's Sphesihle is number one, as we did say earlier.
Yeah,
Nyeza
number
number
one
two, Luan Klunkulu, Isoga number three, Mzugulu no Sjava and the Q Twins. Sjava again number four, Amavaga. Sjava again number five, Gube Ngangazi. And then number six, Miley Cyrus. Oh, wow, this is dope, man.
That's trending.
Thank you for putting me on.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
cool.
there's a whole entire chart up there.
Okay.
You know, Gabza's up there towards the top as well. Master KG's up there.
Nice.
Calvin Momo.
Yeah.
DJ Maporis. A whole lot of people are up there on that YouTube chart. And it's weekly, you know. I think for me, that's more important than any of the radio charts. Like even the radio chart shows, I don't think they're as relevant anymore. I think like what radio should be focusing on doing is, you know, watching what is actually being Shazammed within their areas and start doing Shazam charts within their radius and their areas, you know, so that they can say, okay, these are the songs that are being liked locally or are being played, you know, locally. So we at least have a new local catchment area where local music can, you know, be monitored.
But I'm glad that we're at an era where the power has been taken away from the radio stations and the DJs. Because now they follow what's going on in the streets, right?
Yeah, the power.
Yeah, they
the power
follow what's
being
going on
taken-
on social media.
The power being taken away from the radio stations and the DJs. I don't think it's taken away from the radio stations.
No. I'm saying
Yeah,
the
but it's-
power has been
yeah.
taken away from us. Well, obviously, including myself as somebody who's participated in that radio space.
But the power's been given
over
to
the past
you
20 years.
But
now that I'm online,
creator, you are now a radio station yourself.
yeah. But I'm saying that's what
Yeah.
I'm celebrating.
Yeah.
I'm
The
bigging that
personal
up.
brand, yeah.
Because there was gatekeeping.
Yes,
a
there
lot of
was.
guys, they were even taking payola.
Yeah.
Radio stations would say, no, that song won't fly. I mean, they refused Jerusalem on one of the most stations, and it became big. They refused Kukangamatolo. Most stations became a book. They refused Sister Bettina. And how many other
But
songs?
guess
Do
what?
you know what I mean?
Stations
That power
refusing
is
it-
gone now.
Stations refusing it didn't stop you because stations weren't the only place where music
Exactly,
was
that's what
played.
I mean, that
You went
power
onto
now
the
is gone,
streets. You went
you
into
know?
the streets. You made sure in the taxi ranks that your music was being played. You went to and performed it and made sure that you forced it at the campuses. You went to the street bashes and made sure that you forced your way in. The artists of today are posting their songs up on the internet and expecting themselves to have power, complaining that people are blocking them, people are gatekeeping them, but we don't see you in the streets. We don't see you at the taxi ranks. We don't see you. And we also need to be careful of telling half stories where we tell negative stories. You know, if you look at Java right now, the amount of tracks that are on the chart, that is the work of Ambitious. We would have never known of Java without Ambitious. And none of the artists that I've seen that were at Ambitious, we can say that were being held back from doing the greater things that they are now doing now that they've left Ambitious. We can't say that they were being held back at Ambitious from doing greater things that they are now doing. You understand? Because if you look at Black Diamond, I haven't seen them doing greater things so that I can feel that they were being held back at Ambitious. If I look at Java, I haven't seen him doing greater things so that I can feel that he was being held back at Ambitious. You know what I mean? I can't say he was being held back. I don't know what the interpersonal relationships were amongst them, and that also affects the working relationship. You know what I mean? I don't know how that was managed, so I'm not going to comment on that. But what we must give credit where credit is due, they did that. You know, they took Loyiso from an Idols artist to an established artist. You know, and we've seen how Idols has not been able to actually create stars.
I heard it's been cancelled.
It's been cancelled. And it should be.
How many stars has it created over the past 20 years? It was around for 20 years, right?
Maybe 5. Shakana.
Shout out to
Amanda
Shakana.
Black.
Oh, is Amanda from... Okay.
Ambitious as well. Ambitious as well.
Okay.
Released her album.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Loyiso.
Dope.
You know what I mean? Kayam Tetwa.
Even Musa.
Which Musa?
Do you remember he had that Sunday with Robbie Malinga?
Yeah, and then he got signed by Mabala.
Yeah.
You know? Who else? Yeah.
Okay.
Well, 19 seasons.
They could have created more. But at least there's a couple.
They should have. It's not that they could have. They should have. But they were limited to making sure that their impact is just on creating a TV show that can be re-syndicated. And they were killed by their own success. It was a great TV show. Unfortunately, the stars are not being made on TV anymore. The days of going to the Ed Sullivan show, becoming Miriam Makeba, are over. Now it's about being the TikTok star. You know what I mean? And that's where people are discovering their new stars. So we don't care who wins Idols. We've discovered Uncle Vinny on TikTok. We discovered DOS on TikTok. We don't
Those
know.
are facts, though.
You know what I mean? We discovered all these people on TikTok. We don't care who wins Idols anymore. So
Kanyisa Jacqueline, I was saying that to her last week.
You understand
She
what I'm
emerged
saying?
out of TikTok.
You know what I mean?
Out of even doing
Yeah,
skits. She
yeah.
even tells a story that she focused on doing those videos. And then when she started popping on TikTok, then she was like, let me take you where I belong, which is music, which is my first love. And then she's thriving in the music industry.
Yeah, I know. And then she did her first song, and her first song used a sample.
Yeah, because she did a track with, she says it was meant to be, ended up being a Mapiano with Kabza the Small and
No,
DJ
but before
Mapolis.
that, her first song, the song that blew her up. The song that blew her
Which
up.
song did he blew her up?
Yes, I forgot.
And then she did a lot of work. She's got one now out with Lady
So
Do.
what happened
She's done
is
stuff
that-
with Jazzik.
I think that song had Lady Do on it as well.
Okay. She's been putting in work. I didn't know. Eh?
Let me check.
I was so impressed with her.
I need to speak to Avi Aldman because he's the guy who actually owns the original song.
Okay.
So they hadn't cleared the sample. So I heard about it, but I knew Avi as well. So I said, Avi, I'm going to get you in contact with these people because I think they're new guys. You know, they don't know the business very well.
She did Molweni.
They used...
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I don't think they know the business very well. Pegamina Ngetwa. That was the song. Yeah,
She
so
did
they sampled the
Jikeleza.
song.
She did one with she did Nkosazana. She's got one out with Lady Do, right?
So you
She's been
see,
putting in work.
I didn't even know her yet. This was when? 2 October 2021.
Yeah,
Like, hi
she-
Nota, thanks for the heads up. Unfortunately, it has not been cleared. What steps can I take? If possible, can we rather speak by phone if you have a few minutes? So he had all the rights to call the streaming services, to call Apple Music and say, take down that song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I said, no. Let's have an intervention. Let's speak to them. You know what I mean? And let's make sure that the song is able to grow and do its thing. And yeah, that whole entire sampling debacle. You know, it ended up not even becoming a debacle. It ended up being a well-settled thing. Everybody got their share. Everybody got splits. You know, even Kanyisa also ended up getting splits because I thought to myself that this song is a viral song. And what are the chances that she might have another viral song? So we need to protect whatever they're able to get here. So it can't be one of those situations like Tina Safunda, you know, the hard way, where you take a song that's a sample of a guy who you can never get the clearance from, like Ingutu. You know, none of the guys, Casper, Kwesta, Mapolis,
Like, remember when it rained also?
none of
Same
them
thing.
get a cent from the publishing.
Same here.
Yeah, well,
I don't get
for you,
paid
he's alive.
for Remember When It Rained. I didn't get paid.
Yeah, but the original Camino de Sol track, right, was not the Camino de Sol Joaquim remix.
I get you.
So the publishing comes from the original track, and that person is a Brazilian artist
And he
who's
passed
passed
on.
away.
I get you.
You know, and who said that, you know, the rights cannot be cleared except by explicit written instruction. You know what I mean? So that it was unclearable.
And Ponyolo is saying there's probably still a chance for me to speak to Josh Groban's people now. They might just, you know.
Yeah. Now, yeah.
They might just open up and say, okay, just get 5 or 10% or whatever.
Yeah, or even share it. I mean, like, even outside of Josh Groban, I mean, like, you know,
You were saying that last week, like, imagine making $1 million every time you cry. Imagine crying every time you make $1 million. So me, every time I hear Remember When It Rained, memories are beautiful, but it's like, ugh.
So I didn't want Ukanyisa to have the same thing. So when I finally met her, you know, she tells me, oh, my husband is such a, oh, my boyfriend, I don't know if it's a husband or boyfriend, okay. Boyfriend or husband, my partner is such a big fan of yours. And I was like, yo, I couldn't tell her, but I've been such a big fan. I've been watching her, you know what I mean? I also consulted the people that cleared your sample that you had, but I didn't tell her all those details. No, I was just saying, oh, no, thank you. No, I appreciate that. You know, I'm a big fan of you too. So you had her on the platform and, you know, she explained a lot of what an actual TikToker, someone who started on TikTok, who became somebody on TikTok, you know, his experience is. And I think that that's important because a lot of people are starting on TikTok. You know, you've got your boy Alfie who started on TikTok, ended up presenting at the Summers this year. You know, another person who presented at the Summers is Trevor Noah. He presented at the Summers. And I remember the year he was presenting at the Summers, Kelly Rowland was supposed to come and perform, I think, for one of the World Cup songs. And
I think Suede had put together that collaboration.
So Kwesta was part of the song, but he did some backing vocals and everything else. But Slicker left him behind, whatever. So I call him, I'm like, hey, what's happening? Are you not going to the Sun City? Like, no, I'm here in Sekasi. Dude, did I not call my sister, the same one that allowed me to think? I said, yo, Ntase, please borrow me your car. My sister borrowed me her Yaris. I went to Katlehong. When I get to Katlehong, my mother phones me because obviously my mother, the car was in my mother's name. She says, hey, Tracker says you're in a hijack zone. No, when Katlehong. No, relax. You understand? Clean, pick up Senzo. I'd just gotten myself a Markham's account and I'd never used it, but I had it, you know what I mean? Because they allowed me to have it. So I never used it. Drove to Pretoria, Markham's, got him something, a suit nyana, so that he can do red carpet. Drove my sister's Yaris. No, my sister, hey, my mother's calling, hey, manje moto yami yenzani, send ye Rustenburg, yenzani ye moto. You understand? Because Trekker's now calling, because it's moved from Katlehong, say, you understand? It's now moving, we're driving. We got him there on time, just in time for him to walk the red carpet with his Markham's nonsense, you know.
Oh, you can't call Markham's clothes nonsense.
For the Summers.
Oh, okay, I get you.
We're not calling Markham's nonsense hard at TFG,
Okay.
you know, and with their 70% local manufactured clothing, you know what I mean? We support them for, you know, making sure that our mothers can take us to school. So we went there because he was on the red carpet. He didn't rehearse, but now he was on the red carpet. They've seen him. They're like, hey, come to the backstage. You're going to perform. And then he was able to do that whole entire performance, right? And then there's now a video of Trevor Noah announcing the lineup for that song. And the last name he announces is, and Kwesta performing everywhere you go. You understand?
Dope,
and now we perform.
dope.
Now he does the Grammys.
Dope. Now he's a global star.
But we've got that history.
I get you, yeah.
Of where he started.
It was
his award shows.
documented.
Where he started his award shows.
Because it was
you
also
know?
on RGB at some
Now
point.
he's Beyonce, Jay-Z, you understand?
Yeah.
And all of that greatness. You're part of that greatness. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah. So
And shout outs to Trev also for making cameo to Remember When It Rained music video. He's in
understand?
there.
So-
Check out the Remember When It
so-
Rained music video. Trevor Noah is in there. Caesar Drum was in there.
Yeah,
The late Lebo Matosama is so rest in peace. She's in there. What is it? Gift Lerem is she's man. Lerato Khanyago is in there. So Miz is in there. Like everybody was still young.
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we
History was documented.
So I'm just saying, if anyone from R&B is watching this, please give DJ Sbu a call. You know, we can do something in New York for that New York.
That'll be dope. That'll be dope for that.
Yeah,
New York.
you understand? If Nando's, you know, the guys are watching or guys who want to enter, I'm willing to put whatever savings I've got to contribute to opening a Nando's in New York. I think New York needs one. I think we need to do a weekend of South African music and amapiano, at the Brooklyn Mirage.
Yeah, that would be dope.
That would
be dope.
We need also DJ Smooth to get onto the balcony mix. Hopefully you can.
Oh, shout out to the brother! I love those boys, man.
Hopefully you can do a balcony mix in New York.
That would be dope. Yeah, that would be dope.
A balcony mix on the Brooklyn Bridge somewhere in Dumbo.
I missed you, bro. Good to see you. I love you.
Nice to see you too, man.
But I'll be bothering you.
Love you too. No,
because Penuel now has got his own platforms. You know that, right?
Which one?
So no, he's busy. He's got the Penuel show.
I think
and he's also looking after Virtual Mkuku.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be bothering you from time to time. I was
rocking this on the Pinot show.
Oh yeah, you guys had a great episode, by the way.
So this is the Dakar logo, that I drew up, and it's an inverted triangle because it was anti-Illuminati, and it's got all these triangles. It's got the crown, it's got our faith, the Christianity.
I should know.
All of that stuff, and all of the triangles are facing downwards.
Because
all of the triangles. Look at the triangles. You understand? Seriously, it's anti. It's anti. It's saying that these people that are at the bottom must rise to the top. We are the ones at the bottom that must wear the crown.
I get you.
We, the Africans, must wear the crown. It's our time. You understand? That's why the crown has got Africa on it, because Africa is the kingdom. The power and the glory. That is of royalty and of also our Christianity, and also it's similar to the Ankh cross. It's a deconstructed Ankh, the Ankh cross.
How many years ago was that you did that?
This was 2013. I did this in 2013.
That's 10 years ago.
Yeah. So this is 10 years ago.
Already?
So this was done. This is see, Rap Life Records.
Nice.
This is quality.
Nice.
This has got zippers. It's got zippers. This was made by LSJ Clothing and Merchandise.
Nice.
Which are the owners of Bhutan Wear.
Nice.
Yeah. Which is Lebogang. Lebogang is in Sugar Smacks. Siabonga as in Slicker. And Julian as in Julian Kubel.
Does Slicker and them still own Bhutan?
Lebogang is still.
Oh, they didn't sell it.
Lebogang is still there.
Okay, nice.
Lebogang is still partners with Julian at LSG.
Nice.
And they also do the lifestyle clothing for Kaizer Chiefs.
Nice.
As well. And Bhutan, they've got new ranges, they've grown.
Yeah, no, I've seen. I've seen, man. I follow them. I follow them on
Out
socials.
Of all the streetwear, we need a streetwear store in New York. You know what I mean? Where all the brands,
South African brands are there.
All the South African brands, the drips are there. You know what I mean? We need all of them. The Magents are there. The Keep are there. All of them. Because if the music is there, the culture is there. Let the music and the
Everything
culture sell
else
our
needs to be
products.
there, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hip hop has been used to sell Hennessy
Everything
and all
else.
this other stuff. You know what I mean? That's what the Americans did. Universal is owned by the French. You know what I mean? So I can understand why they'd want to sell a lot of Hennessy. You know what I mean? The Japanese own Sony. So I understand why they'd want to sell this Japanese technology. You know what I mean? The Americans, they own Warner. You know what I mean? So I understand why they want to sell us the dreams of Warner Brothers. So we need to sell our own stories. Another thing that I wanted us to talk about before we close is Bob Iger is back as head of Disney. They're cutting 15% of their staff.
Bob Iger, ne?
They're cutting down a couple billions in their costing, and I think that the fairy tale of Disney has come to an unhappy ending. I think that the story arc of Disney and all its characters has ended. I don't know any child that watches Disney cartoons or Disney kiddies programs.
Maybe it's because you've outgrown it.
No. I'm talking about watching what the children are responding to.
Okay.
It's not made by Disney. What the kids are responding to. The kids are watching dads and daughters on YouTube Kids and other things. They've got other companies.
Disney to cut 7,000 jobs, bruh. And slash 5.5 billion in costs as it unveils vast restructuring. Okay.
It's in trouble. They're in serious trouble, and the behavior has changed because you made everybody go onto the streaming platforms, so people don't watch TV anymore, and your main revenue driver was cinema. And remember that Scarlett Johansson was suing Disney.
don't remember.
yes, Scarlett Johansson sued Disney because they put her movie on streaming instead of putting it on cinema, and her bonuses were pegged in to cinema box office performance, and therefore she missed out on bonuses. She missed out on like $30 million that she could have earned in maximum bonuses, and she sued them for the maximum bonuses that she could have earned had it been a box office success.
Did she win?
Obviously, cinemas have been unsuccessful. They settled for undisclosed amount, and obviously settlements come with non-disclosure agreements. We don't know the terms of the settlement, but that's an admission in some part that they made a mistake there. And now by changing the behavior, I don't know when the last time you went to the cinema, but the last time I went to the cinema, I took my wife there just recently, and I said, hey, I booked out the whole entire cinema. It was a lie, but I actually did. There was no one else at the cinema. So the behavior has changed. You can get away with that sort of lie now, and that behavior has changed because we've taken out the movie stars that bring people to the cinema. The last time I was at the cinema, it was full. I was there. Oh, no, I was there with my nephews now. We watched Avatar 2. And obviously my nephew is a sound engineer, so he watches movies just to listen to the audio and sound.
The experience.
Yeah, he listens, and we watched it in IMAX because he wanted to hear the sound in IMAX as well. And also read the credits. So who did this sound effect or whatever, you know what I mean? How kids who do sound engineering are, they're nerds. And that was full. And before that, it was Father's Day when I took my dad for a Father's Day gift. We went to watch Tom Cruise, Top Gear, Maverick.
Top Gear, that's dope.
So
I
that
enjoyed
we watched that and it was a full cinema. But other than that, I've been watching a lot of movies. I watched Mr. Maurice. I'm going to watch Puss in Boots now as well.
Kings of
But it's
Joburg, have you watched?
No, I don't watch streaming on Netflix. I'm a cinema person.
Oh, okay.
I am the person who watches in cinema.
Okay.
I'm the only one left.
Okay.
Everybody else is watching streaming. Everybody else is watching Disney Plus. So the behavior has really changed. And like we said about the advertisers that are still spending all their money advertising on television when there's load shedding, and people's behavior has changed because load shedding is making people not watch TV. Load shedding is making people, go out for drinks and do other activities other than going to cinemas now as well. So our cinemas are not as full. So our cinema advertising is also suffering. So they need to move their money to online media because this is where the audiences are. Unfortunately, you guys are not reaching out to the audiences. We're reaching out to the audiences, and we could be selling your products, but we've got nothing to sell. Because you're not spending your money trying to place your products here. And that behavior changing means that also now the stories are not being presented in their fullest light, because the fullest light is in the cinema. So the myth of the characters is now gone. So the asset, the catalog that Disney has is now losing relevance. Can you believe that? That if you don't work on how your catalog is consumed, and you don't work on valuing that, it can actually disappear, which is which is why, these things like spatial audio, like making sure that the sound experience is not like a home sound experience. You can't listen to this in your house, and you need to actually go to a cinema to listen to it. Those things are very important. We need to start incorporating those things so that we've got a higher level at which people are now starting to consume our content. You know what I mean? Here, we're in a nice space. This restaurant is a nice space, but you understand? Just off the two artworks that are here, just because they are placed here. Now, how much value is it to have these artworks placed here? Do you understand? And that's what we need to be.
We are the new media, bro.
You understand? And that's what. And we're now incorporating it with art. We're now adding higher value to this product that we're selling. Disney doesn't have the story like I was telling you the last time. Their Wakanda story, yes, they're trying to tell a story, but it doesn't come from anywhere. The stories come from here. They need to get the stories from here. So we're rich in stories.
So they must come to the source.
They must come to the source, but we need to control how they are consuming.
Appropriating this culture.
But how they're consuming it. We need to start coming up with streaming platforms. We need to start owning cinemas. We need to make sure that we've got a cinema culture. We are telling our stories in cinemas. We're making sure that the audio is quality. And
somebody was doing it brilliantly. Tapelo Mkwe, and I was going to the hood. and putting up those screens in the hood and the
Yes,
parks, and
yes,
people
we
would
need to
come.
start
I don't
doing
know if
that.
he's still doing it.
We need to start doing
That was a dope idea.
We need to start doing that, and then we need to start getting our Amapiano artists to come perform and be there so that they can at least bring the crowds in. You know what I mean? Because they're going to benefit as well, because the Amapiano artists of today are going to be the cinema stars of tomorrow, because you're not going to be performing everywhere. And when you've got a cinema screen...
LL Cool J is now a movie star.
Why? Because
But he
doesn't
started
have to
from
perform.
rapping.
How many cinemas are there in America?
Exactly.
Let's say there's 40,000 cinemas.
Ice-T,
He could be
Ice
performing
Cube.
at each of these cinemas, right, 5 times a day without jumping on stage and losing his voice and passing out like Dos did. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why Dos then needs to be able to have a platform to transition into a movie star one day, because what he's able to have the energy to do right now, if you were doing gigs like Dos right now, you'd be dead. You know what I mean? He's still young, so he can recover from that. You pass out like that on stage.
And shout outs to El Tito as well, because the transition, Joe Budden did it. He's doing very well in the podcasting space.
You understand what I'm saying?
So even just transition, not only movies, but even in this podcasting space. And I encourage a lot of artists to do. And big up to Gigi Lamaine.
You understand?
I interviewed her about, let's say, a little under a year ago. She didn't have that podcast then.
Yeah,
She started a podcast. It's doing very well.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like Gigi, like she was looking for an outlet, and I was like, you know what? You're a smart girl. I think like a podcast should be something that you do. And I begged her. She's like, okay, I'm gonna come together with a team. You know, I mean, will you be one of my guests if I start it? So then she's like, okay, cool. She's like, okay, fine. I've got a list of like 7 guests. Yes, I didn't want you to be the only guest. Or whatever. So I'm really serious about it. So I was like, okay, no, cool. Put me as like maybe your 4th guest or something.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So like she put me out there as like a 4th guest. She got a couple of guests coming through, and now she's expanding it. And now like she's even getting people that are sponsoring like a studio for her to be in.
Nice.
Not only are they going to sponsor a studio for her to be in, they're also going to provide her content for the reality show that she's part of.
Oh, she's doing a reality show?
Love and Hip Hop.
Oh, okay.
Love and Hip Hop South
Local
Africa.
one. She's a part of it.
Yeah, she's there with De Elias, who's also doing his own platform as well, which I've been on, and you also need to be on.
Oh, Dallas has got his own as well?
Yes,
Lovely.
you haven't seen it?
No, I haven't. Big up to all of you guys.
You
Congrats,
need to
man.
watch
That's
the
dope.
episode with Shoma Josie.
I'm going to go check it out.
He gave her... Oh, she was drinking Hennessy, because you know she's a Hennessy ambassador. I don't know if you've driven to Josie, but she's got a big
Yeah, it's got a billboard.
that's overlooking the Bobby Cooper billboard. So if you've got these 2 South African female artists, something you've never seen in your life before, you understand? Where once you'd had to be Teko Modise, sponsored by Nike, or Simpiwe Shabalala to score a goal in the World Cup final. You've got 2 black girls standing on top of the tallest buildings in South Africa, looking at one another. The one is on a Shield ad, the other one is on a Hennessy ad. You know what I mean? That's like Lebo Machosa's wildest dreams. That's TK's wildest dreams coming true, watching that. You know what I mean? I don't know how many people drive through the CBD, how many people are in the taxis, how many people are in the buses, but each and every single day, Bobby Cooper and Shoma Josie are looking down on them and inspiring them. And both those girls love football. You understand? They play football. The other one is a referee. You know, they're part of the sporting culture. They're also in what one would perceive as male-dominated industries, but they're like one of the boys. And they're protected and they're safe. And we're seeing how they're flourishing because, you know, they're able to engage with the boys, because we're not separating the boys and the girls. And now we're creating a war between black men and black women, you know, that is going to never end, as if we're, completely independent of one another. We need to be dependent and interdependent on one another. And we need to support one another. And we need to make sure that we've got safe spaces. And us as black men, we need to be proud that our sisters are safe when we're around.
Nota, we're out of here. I'll see you on the next episode. He's coming back again, by the way.
This is the Hustler's Corner.